for Boston. Beantown Brothers is talking. Beantown Brothers is talking for Boston.
Just tuned in. My name is Greg Mumford. I'm the host today on Beantown Brothers is Talking, and I'm here with my guest, a young man that I've known for a little while now, and he's doing some great things, George Pearl. George, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, and I know we've talked a lot in the past, and you share with me some of your desires to do this entertainment thing. Can you talk a little bit more about your business and your entertainment and what you're trying to do right now?
Okay. One of the first things that I do is a project called In the Bean. And In the Bean, it speaks about community and entertainment inside of Boston, but not just Boston, and beyond, because we have people that are from Boston but now live in California, now live in Atlanta, now live in Pennsylvania. So my connection is to connect those with what's going on in the city of Boston, as well as finding out what's going on with some of our folks that have left here and doing other great things in other states.
So you were exposed to music at an early age.
Yes.
And you have a wide variety of experience in the entertainment business, promoting, and all media. Your background also is in education. Like, you like working with young people. Can you talk more about that?
Yes. I actually got into education because of my brother, who was actually a teacher in the Boston public school system, as well as he now is a teacher out in New Hampshire. But I had got my son at an early age. He was 2 years old when I had to become a dad in a whole nother fashion, become the full-time dad. So what happened was I had to leave one job and find a job that was able for me to be able to take care of my son and be able to be and work at the same time, which that's how I got into the Boston public school system, because of a need for my son to be taken care of out of that. But I then got into Mr. McAfee, who was the headmaster at Madison Park High School, who was actually, he was my sixth grade art teacher and science teacher. And now he's the headmaster at Madison Park. So my brother, who was actually coached by him in basketball, asked him, you think you can help out my brother? He's looking for employment. And he says, your brother, what's your brother? And once he knew my name, it was a wrap from there. I got a phone call. He said, you be ready at 7 o'clock in the morning. Didn't think he was going to call. 7 o'clock in the morning, he called me. I had an interview at Hyde Park High School, and the rest is history. I worked at Hyde Park High School. I worked at the Hennigan Elementary School. I worked for the BBAT'S Transportational Department, where I was a liaison between the yard, which is the bus yard, the school system, which is BPS, and the parents. These are things that you don't want to receive a call, because if you're receiving a call from me or I'm receiving a call, it's because a child has been misplaced or trying to be located. We don't like to say misplaced. But that's how I got started as far as the Boston public school system. I never thought I would be working as far as with the community. But every time I worked in a Boston public school system, I was working at a after-school program, which is Vine Street Community Center. Gotcha.
Okay, so that's great, man. You're an influence to a lot of young people, but now I know you're taking a track with this entertainment business, and you have some events coming up and some collaborations, as you talked earlier.
Right.
Can you speak more about some of those things you're trying to do?
Well, the great thing about this project, which is the Roxbury Branch Library pre-Labor Day Back to the Summer Thing Jam. And what this is about everyone is actually that is associated with this is actually donating them their time. So this is actually this event is actually being put on by the community. The first one who jumped on board was Frank Wilkerson. Probably know him from being down at Slade's. He does Frank Wilkerson and Friends. That's usually on a Tuesday night, and having a large variety of different types of artists that would come through. And I spoke with him about what I wanted to do, and after having a couple of meetings with him, he decided that he wanted to come aboard, and from that point we started to grow. And I also have a gentleman here today to let you see or hear some of the music that he has put together, Most Generous. He's here today just to let you guys hear a little bit of what you'll be hearing out there on August 29th. Like I said, this is a community event, and we're looking for other people to be involved. I probably got a list now that has grown up into, I started off with 2 and I'm up to 12 now, with other people that have not confirmed yet, so the number can grow.
So you mentioned this young man. Let's introduce this young man. Introduce yourself, young brother.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Most Generous. My real name is Abdul Kareem Ayodele Oseni. But in Arabic, Abdul Kareem means servant of the most generous, so my name is my name. I'm a producer, actor, songwriter, and did I say producer?
Yes.
Yeah, producer, yeah. And also a curator for a podcast. Shout out to Show and Tell Boston. We just interviewed a state representative by the name of China Tyler. Shout out to China Tyler. It was a beautiful interview. Can't wait to put that out. And I'm also one half of a music group called The Groovement, and the other half of my partner, his name is Kareem. He also does R&B, neo soul, all that. So we like to be able to work on futuristic Afrocentric futurism, and we like to embed that with just hard hip hop, R&B, neo soul, those things that activate the spirit, activate the the movement, the groovements. So I feel like this generation definitely needs all that. So yeah.
So where are you from?
I was born in Framingham, but me and my siblings, we grew up in Dorchester in 2003, and ever since then, I known Boston all my entire life. But I moved around a lot. Around 2000 and I believe 2006 or 2007, I moved to Florida, stayed there for about 4.5 years. Came back up here because the education system was really bad down there, and plus a lot of racism. Cost of living was extremely high because we lived in Tampa, then we moved to Clearwater, then Palm Harbor, then Hudson. So it was just like always lost friends, all that. I started getting anger issues, depression and all that. So when I came back up here to finish high school, I was just like, I felt so out of step. But I graduated from Boston Community Leadership Academy in 2014. And thanks to the PIC program, they helped me get a job. And I was also on the side being active in the community. I was part of this youth program called Hyde Square Task Force, I believe. Yeah, and my friend, shout out to Justin Rojas. We used to do music together, and we actually started making music in the beginning, like around 2015. And then from there, like, I just branched off with like my other friends. But yeah, like it's memory lane, in a way.
So is he going to perform here today, or just talk about what he was doing? Because I was kind of confused on what you said.
Yeah, I have some of these tracks that he want going to play and introduce some of the tracks and just let you hear briefly some of the works that you'll be hearing. You'll be hearing it today, but you actually will get to see it being performed on August 29th.
Okay. Can we play some of these
2022.
tracks right now?
Oh yeah, so this one of the tracks is called Groove Hall. It's from our album that we released on 420, and it's called Geises. It's kind of like a play off of Aquemini of like Outkast, because we get a lot of our influences from those cats. And but yeah, this song is dedication to Grove Hall, so the wordplay it's dope. But this song is just a vibe, it's really smooth boom bap, but it's just like jazzy, and it just like takes you on the ride. And
Let's ride. Let's ride.
Let's ride.
Beantown Brothers is talking. Beantown Brothers is talking for Boston. Beantown Brothers is talking.
So good. I mean, if you were listening, you listened to one of our young artists who's on the show today, along with George Pearl. And so we're really getting into the nitty gritty of what he's really trying to do and what's his vision for the movement that he's trying to make right now. So can you elaborate a little bit more? I know you talked a little bit about it, but in some of the players that you have involved. So what are your next steps?
Yeah, that's a good question. I really want to answer it as accurately as I can. My mission is to move people through music, through communication, not just from me, but from other people who don't have a voice, but musically they do. So I want to tell stories through music. I want to inform people of what's going around in their neighborhood through visual. That's through pictures. Usually I'm out and I'm making sure that whatever I want to see, I'm taking pictures of that to give people a guideline to where we're going. And where I want to go is uniting people together. My mission is to unite people together, to keep them informed, and also to be informed. Sometimes I do a lot of talking, but you got to do a lot of listening in order to do a lot of talking. That's the reason why I have Mose here, because a lot of things that I want to say, he's able to communicate through a different mechanism, through his music. I'm using what I do as far as marketing and promotion to make sure I can get him on the best platform possible. Through those platforms, which is this social media and BCN and those sorts of things of that nature, I just want to be able to move forward and make people happy in the community and keep them informed. I also want to make sure that our young people have some, I can't say it, but they can say it best. So I want to make sure that those people have those young people have an outlet to do what they need to do. This is all about community.
Yeah.
This is all about, this is not about so much of building a brand as it is communicating and putting people together. I connect dots very well, and that's what I'm doing right now.
You know, when I grew up, you know, there was a lot of bands. You know, music was a big deal there. You know, the Energetics, the new, you know, New Edition, all those people. There was a lot of groups here. 9.9,
Yeah.
Marble
Wow.
Thunder, and you know,
Wow.
and all these people. So there was a lot of folks trying to do this music thing, and there was a lot of events that we could participate in or go to and see. We didn't have the violence today, and I don't see a lot of venues offering young people like Most here and other young artists who want to showcase their stuff in the community at outside events, being able to do that because of the violence. What can we do to change that? You know, I'm going to talk to you, Most, because you know, I mean, you're the generation now. You know, we didn't want to be ducking bullets and things like that if we wanted to go see. You know, I saw the Barcades. I know you don't know who they are. The Barcades over there in Franklin Field. You know what I mean? We used to have concerts at White Stadium, where I saw Sly and the Family Stone, and you know, Tavares, which used to be Chubby in the Turnpikes when they were playing at the Sugar Shack. These little artists that I'm dating myself here. You know, you weren't even thought about when all I'm talking about these people, but you all sample their music today. But I want to find out what's going on out there so that we can have the exposure publicly, you know, with young people. Can you talk a little bit about that? What's going on out there?
Out there, like, Boston is it's a melting pot, but at the same time, it's like the music scene it's accelerating by a mile. So it's like, but at the same time, you know, I can only speak for myself because of, you know, the circle that I keep and the type of music that I make. So it's, if you're in Roxbury, Dorchester, of course, like, you're a product of your environment, you know, so a lot of artists are reflecting, you know, the times through whatever is popular, whether it's drill music, whether it's, you know, all these types of layers of hip-hop or other subgenres. But personally, like, I treat music like it's food. So it's like, whatever you put inside you, whatever you listen to, whatever you see, is like the output is going to, in a way, is going to be symmetrical to like what, you know, what goes inside of you. So it's like, if that's why I've always absorbed a lot of positivity. I'm always around people who are goal orientated, who are like how you say, progressive, and like mindsets, you know. So like my music, you know, reflects, you know, not only like the just like the pains or the aspirations of a black man, but to also like transcend that and to see like a future beyond, you know, just like this, whatever society paints, you know, the black man or angry, stereotypical, what, that's irrelevant to me. Like, I care about like everyone's well-being, mentality, spirituality, and that's something that should always be at the forefront. So cleaning and clearing all these generational curses that are sometimes, you know, that has plagued, you know, us in a way, you know, because, you know, this is a community that, you know, we've all grew up in, and we've all lost, you know, people in some way or forms from it. So, like, I'm using music as, like, that blowhorn to not only, like, to activate a call to action, but also to exhilarate people, you know, to make them feel like, you know, feel good, you know, and what you said earlier, but you want to be able to like create world music, you know, make people who, you know, like, because I remember, it reminds me of Kendrick Lamar. He said, I don't make, you know, hip hop, I make human music. So like when you said like world music, it was like, yo, it just reminds me so much of that as well, because the music now is not human at all. Like, how can you listen to this? You can hear somebody say, I'm gonna shoot da 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 da. I'm like, how is this like normal? This is normal. Like, and in a country where it's like the gun violence, you can easily get a gun quicker than you can get a cheese pizza. Like, it's wild, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're having, and we have to like combat all these things, and it's in the music. Kids are listening to this, so we're just, but it's not, a majority of the artists here, they're not, you know, majority of them, they're not, you know, on that, but there's some who are really like into like neo soul, who are R&B. I've even met, you know, reggaeton. I've met, you know, especially a lot of DJs, promoters who, you know, keep like dance hall alive. We just had like a dance hall episode on one of our podcasts called Show and Tell. So, you know, we're being able to see different pockets of the community and try to like be able to get to the bottom of all these issues in a way.
Yeah, I think you have to go in the industry, because, you know, that kind of music that, you know, we're looking at like, wow, you know what, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
It's making money. It's making people rich.
Oh, it's so, the layers you have to understand. Like, you thought that the school to prison pipeline was deep. Nah, there's a pipeline in the music industry connected to just like the government. If you think about it, like, the industry are literally giving artists money. Like, they know that they have records, they know that they have priors and all that. They're giving them money. It's like, yo, go do this, go do that. You know, and once when a person has money, you know, especially most of these are young kids, they don't know what to do with these. You know what I'm saying? So they're committing crimes and all that, and they're just falling into that trap to where like they get splashed with a RICO. Because once when a RICO hits you, like, you're stuck. Like, if the feds get you with a RICO, you're stuck. If the state gets you with a RICO, you know, you might have wiggle room because, you know, it's the state, you know. But other than that, it's like, I want artists to be like aware, like very socially aware of what they're doing. And because if you're from that type of environment, sometimes like your skeletons, they follow you. You know what I'm saying? You can't really clean a lot of the things that you did. Sometimes there's a lot of debts that you have to pay to the community. If you took another child from that community, you know, back then, it's like if you took another child from the community, you would have to pay for that. You know, that's how some tribes operate in Africa. You know, there's tribes, different communities that, you know, penalize people who do that. But it's like here in America, it's like, it's wild. Like, that's why it's important to use music to clear that, to counteract all that violence and all the negative, you know, mentalities that the industry is, you know, as repudiating in a way. So, you know, yeah, that's what I meant when I said it was deep.
I didn't want to get on that tangent, but
yeah, my fault.
Because, no. You know, I want, because I really want to know, because I just want to know. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what young people are doing anymore. And I just hear this music. You know, I listen to Sirius Radio. So, you know, I can go to old school. I can go to LL Cool J's, you know, station, and all the other ones that come up, and go to reggae. And so I can pick and choose.
Yeah.
But when I go to the young people station, oh man, it's horror. It's horror.
Oh yeah, that's
it's horror. It's like, wow,
yeah.
What is this? What is this?
I don't even turn into it. I don't even tune into it.
You know, LL created a platform for all rappers to put their stuff out there. I applaud him for that. But some of that stuff is horrible. You know, it's so bad, man. You know, and I'm glad that there's a variety of stations, because I can go old soul and just drive and be cool. You know what I mean? And, you know, and then get some, you know, reggae in there, and, some of the other music that I like. So I appreciate you trying to answer that question.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to get you off on that tangent.
Oh yeah.
And so, George, if you could tell me, where are some of the other young artists that you're working with, like most?
We have another lady named Stephanie Love. She is amazing. She's actually, it's funny because she's Haitian, and she's Haitian, but the music that she does is all genres of music. So it's just amazing that when I listen to her, to hear all the different influences that she has inside of it, from opera to hip hop to R&B, to country. It's just amazing to watch her work. And like I said, I wanted to do world music, so that was a part of it. That was part of the key of making my wheels continuously turn on the idea. And people like Mose, who also chimed in and want to also be on that wave. And collectively, we're going to put something together, and collectively, we're going to do something really big here. Also, my nephew, BT Boston, I'm working with him as well. He's a young up-and-coming hip-hop artist, and I've been working with him now for over a year and a half, and he's, coming into his own. His music will be coming out very soon. Sometimes, he's one of the ones I can say that listen, because he's not, want that microwave fix. Want it right now, but that did not come without pulling some.
Yeah.
But collectively we worked that out, and collectively we're gonna come out with a nice banger for you people, for everybody to be able to listen to. You'll be able to let your kids listen to this one.
Okay, that sounds good. So you mentioned working with Maurice Starr back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
How much did that influence your work today? Because we talked before,
Mm-hmm.
and you said Maurice asked you to
Right.
do a favor
Right.
and work
Right.
with this other older guy. It's a good time to plug that in.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Maurice, at this particular time, shout out to Maurice out there and the people out there who want to know. Maurice is doing a lot better right now. For those who don't know, he had a major stroke. He's been in rehab now for almost close to a year and a half now, and he's really doing very well. Actually, was sent a picture from Florida where he appeared with the New Kids. So I got that pic. We gotta make sure we put that up towards the end. I got that for you guys to be able to see that. But it's a great pic. But I got a call from Maurice a year ago in September. I was out there for a premiere of an independent movie, and it was in Macon, Georgia. And the name of that film is Trust Issues. So if you want to check that out on YouTube, Trust Issues, the movie, you can check that out. That's a great movie. But Maurice gave me a call in September. I was out there for a premiere in Atlanta, and when I spoke with him, I hadn't spoken with Maurice in probably in over 12 years. And it was just surprising that he had my number. When I spoke with him, we talked about the past, but I actually worked with his brother before his brother passed, Calvin Johnson, which he became one of my mentors in the game. He's the one that introduced me to Maurice. And when I met Maurice, very quiet, but I can see where he gets that energy from. It's just amazing to be around him. He took me in and asked me if I would work with a gentleman named Andre Evans. Andre Evans is a 75-year-old older young man, but he was sent to me because of the fact of his history. He has been doing music since he was 8 years old. He's a prodigy. He plays his instrument of choice is drums. That's the professional instrument that he plays. But he also plays saxophone. He also can play the trumpet. He also plays keys, plays the guitar and bass. He's just an amazing gentleman. At 8 years old, this gentleman started to take instruments home, and he then mastered them by the time of 13. He went out on the road at 13. His parents signed for him to go out on the road, and he's been doing this professionally now ever since 13 years old. He is now 75 years old and still working in the industry. There's 3 labels that are still after him for music, and these labels are after him for jazz albums. He actually had a 3-album deal on the table from Warner Brothers, but you know, every contract is not a good contract, no matter how old you are. And so, with that being said, I was asked to do a bio on him, and that is still being worked on. But we have so much more information to get because it's not over yet. You can check him out. We were at the Roxbury Branch Library. He was there on March 7th, where he was talking about the different aspects of music and how he began his career. So if you go on YouTube and check this gentleman out, Andre Evans, you can check out his life's work. He's on a record label now called Culture Soul. Culture Soul put out this all-time bulletin point looking for him because they had music that was being played over in Europe, Spain, Brazil, and they did not know where this gentleman was. So he started getting phone calls, and he didn't know who these people were that would call him. He thought they were bill collectors. So he wasn't answering his phone. So a bandmate of his saw him at the airport and said, "Did you get a phone call from the record label Culture Soul?" He says, "I thought those guys were playing around. I thought they were bill collectors trying to, scam me." And lo and behold, they were trying to call him because they was trying to give him a check, a royalty check, because they had took his music and they were playing it. And the reason why they contacted him because they wanted more. And so he has a contract with them. Well, for 100 of his songs are in their catalog now.
Well, I asked you those questions because I just wanted you to share your history of music so that it gives you credibility of what you're trying to do now.
Yeah, I started off working with Maurice as a road manager for Classic Example, also for Perfect Gentleman. These are groups that during the time of the last years of the label of Boston International Records, which was located in Roxbury.
Right, I know what that studio is.
Yeah, so that was a great experience too. And then from there I went to Atlanta and I worked with Nate Smith as an assistant for him for Bosstown Records, which is Bobby Brown's label. From there, when Nate went on to work with Atlantic Records, I became his assistant. Then we worked out of the BMG building out of Atlanta. So I've been around the entertainment business for a minute, on the corporate side, on the road manager side, roadie side, whatever side you want, on the entertainment side. I've been around it.
Good. So you got this event coming up in August, the community event that you mentioned earlier in the show. And can you expound a little bit more about what you're looking to get from that event?
Well, I remember when I was young, I noted at the end of the year there was things like the summer thing that were that every year as a kid I looked forward to going up to the park and being able to see talent that I would not be able to pay for at a concert, and to be able to see that, and also be able to see local artists that you used to put together your groups. This is my dance team, that's your dance team. So you would have Mattapan, Dorchester, Roxbury, and you would always go to these competitions and see these guys go at it. You know what I mean? And that was one of the fun part about being in entertainment during that time. Everybody wanted to have fun, but everybody wanted to be at their best.
Yeah, we had talent shows, and I remember, Playhouse in the Park. And
yes,
Summer thing, and there was always concerts around the city in the summertime, and that's what I was talking about in terms of being able to have those venues without the violence. We weren't shooting and stuff back then, and everybody came out, and it was just a great time and a great night, you know.
Right. Well, what was said to me, you know, if you want to do it, then, you know, well, I don't have help. And then I decided if this is what you want to do, you have to build it, and then
you have to build the help.
And that's what happened. It started off as a thing that I was thinking about, and I thought about it long enough that the idea became into fruition, and then people just picked up on it, and we just started running from there. The reason why I called it the summer thing, like I said, wanted to go back to the summer thing. We're able to have talent. We're able to have a big party. This is a block party. Let's just call it that. A block party where we're all able to get together, have fun, be entertained, and be able to talk and communicate with each other all in one place. Whereas the pandemic kind of like stopped that. And, you know, the communication as far as being able to go out to venues to be entertained has now become very, very, you know, low in between here in Boston as far as the entertainment scene is concerned. So this is a treat for us to be able to reacclimate the entertainment in Boston for the upcoming fall year.
It would be nice. It would be nice. Is this event going to be outdoors or indoors?
It's an outdoor event.
And where is it going to be held?
At the Roxbury Branch Library, right in Roxbury.
In the front of
in
the
the
building?
front.
Okay, so people driving by.
People in the front will be able to see it. People that in the back will be able to hear it.
Good, yeah.
It won't be. It'll be a day of entertainment. Trust me. This is the pre-Labor Day back to the summer thing jam. You know, this is the Monday before you get ready to have that Monday of vacation off of that. The Monday before the actual day. Yeah. So this is before school starts. You know, for the kids to be able to be entertained. This is for the parents that are getting ready to put their kids back in school and got to get through the rest of the week. This would be a Monday that you'll be able to say, man, I can't wait till the weekend, but I'm glad it started off this way.
So for you, Most, will you be at this event?
Yes, sir.
And where have you performed lately?
Lately,
or within the last few months?
It's been hard. Like because I've been focused on so many things. I haven't been performing. The last performance I had was like it was out of Boston. I don't even remember where it was, and it was trash. Like the DJ who kept on messing up my track. I was like, forgettable. and this is on June. Just on Juneteenth too. So I'm like, you messed up. But other than that, the 29th is so far like the only event that me and my friend Kareem are gonna be performing at. So definitely look forward to singing my heart out, and I just miss it. I just miss that.
Anything else you'd like to say?
Oh yes. I like to talk about like my first of all, I want to thank Pearl for having me come through on here. He's been helping me. At least like he's been showing me what he's really been doing behind the scenes and all that, and it's like just like actually being around somebody who's actually puts a lot of action behind his words is just like it's amazing. What I'm saying? And we also got a lot of collaborations in the works too. So can't wait to touch base on that. Also, I have a podcast called Show and Tell Boston. We talk about all things creative, all things art, all things Boston. We bring on a lot of people we've had panels of all fathers. We've had LGBT community folks come through. We also had, like different people come through, like financial, people who work on realty. Houses, selling houses, and we just bring a lot of people of the community, who live in Boston. Yeah, especially Representative. We've had State Representative China Tyler come through. It was lit.
Yeah. Oh. Get a chance to come into the community, and so invite them because a lot of people don't invite them like. Layman people don't invite them places.
Yeah, of course.
And even when I was in the nonprofit business, part of the thing was to invite your senators, representatives to your place because, you know, they can advocate for you. You know, they're the ones that make sure that funds come in your community. So you should, you know, invite them just so they can see, feel comfortable with being around you, so they'll fight for you. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. But this representative, she's been fighting for us, like ever since she was 26. So like I'm 27 now. You know, she's been and for a few years, you know, she's been active with the community. You know, so it's like I just to sit down with this person and just like talk with her, and like I just felt it was so amazing. Like because you know, like normally when you think of politicians, like, you know, they're normally just like foxes or they're wolves, what the brother Malcolm X said before. So I think it's just about how you, of course, like obviously, you know, being able to reach out, because these are people who represent, you know, like your county. So like all the politics aside, like these are actual human beings. These are mothers, these are fathers, these are, you know, people who've also lost, you know, folks to the community, you know what I'm saying? So like, you know, and, you know, so like, yeah, like that human aspect is extremely important. And that's what Show and Tell is all about, just community, because we've been trying to get to the bottom of some issues within the community, from, you know, just, you know, from abortion to like, you know, toxic masculinity, toxic femininity, things that are very hard to talk about, you know, especially, you know, like mental health. Like these are things that you have, you have to promote these things like it's, you know, like you get money off of it, because like, you know, like that's because it's like rich, like mental health is, treat that like it's richness,
well, there are
you know.
issues that are in our community and been in there for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, unfortunately, a lot of young people don't talk about that. So, well, you know, what I want young people to understand are how powerful they are. You know, you're the youngest people. You guys, if you register to vote, and I'm surprised a lot of young people are not registered to vote, and they should be, because you can make change by that vote. You know what I mean? And when you don't vote and you're talking to a representative, they don't hear you. You know what I mean? You know, because they don't need you. You know what I mean? But if they're running for office and they need votes, and if you are a registered voter that does vote, they want that vote, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
it's very important, because once you get them in power, they can be able to pass a lot of legislation that can help, you know, cure a lot of like the structural, racial, and, you know, social issues within the community, and especially from even prison reform as well. Like there's, I read an article that prisoners in jail, like they made like less than I think it's like they make $1 per hour, you know, making certain materials, especially for like the PPE and for like coronavirus, you know. So it's like the fact that they're getting paid less than that, you know, and living in the conditions of prison is horrible, you know what I'm saying? So like we have more people who look like us, who understand, you know, the issues, and can be able to put that in writing, put that in a bill, pass that, it can be able to change, you know. But it's about more people being, how can I explain it? Yes, active, but the morale in the community is really low, so low, you know, because politics and everything that's going on in the world is just horrible. And that's a whole can of words that I really want to get into.
Show.
That's the whole nother show. But
so I'm going to transition to Pearl to say we're going to wrap this up soon. So you got any final words you want to say, Pearl?
I just want to thank yourself for having me today, and I also want to let most know that I was very appreciative of him coming up here today and expressing what he expressed with us today, and sharing with us what he shared with us today is most appreciated. The show that he does, that the group does, Show and Tell, I really want to, you know, also send a shout out to them, because I got to see young people collectively getting together to talk about not just world issues, but issues that hit you at home. So I want to thank them out there again to show and tell, and I want to send special thanks to Paw Print Studio as well. Actually, they let me embrace me as one of their own, so I appreciate them as well out there looking out for me, being able to rehearse, being able to record, being able to, when I need to be there, to be able to be here today. So I just want to send a shout out to my man Jay out there. We appreciate you.
Okay. So on behalf of Beantown Brothers Talking,
And Kelly and everybody else.
So
the whole
crew.
Beantown Brother crew. Love you.
Okay. So on behalf of Beantown Brothers Talking and the Black Ancestral Trailblazers, we hope you guys come back to see us next week, and thank you.
Hey, thank you again, and thank you, Dominic. Holding it down, brother. Doing a thing, man. Absolutely.
Everything I want to do is humanize everybody, step around me, so let's groove. Now when I come to talk about effort, baby, that's internal and external. Can you dig it? When I say get it out my system, I mean thoroughly, I mean a cleanse. So when we talk about getting out the system, I don't mean the oppression that we've suffered from day to day. That means internal too. So as much as I want to groove and I want to move, I want to heal and develop the system.
Beantown Brothers is talking. Beantown Brothers is talking for Boston. Beantown Brothers is talking. Beantown Brothers is talking.